Perception of problems when informed of an issue. What is the term for perceiving issues which don't exist having been informed of a problem? More info. When people are aware of a problem, they're more likely to report that they're experiencing that issue. E.g., hypochondriacs will assume they have bird flu if there are announcements about it in the news. We recently reported to users that we were temporarily running on our disaster recovery servers, and were told that some users had complained of performance problems, though our monitoring shows that performance has actually, slightly, improved, and the reports relate to a part of the system which wasn't affected. As such, we're pretty confident it's just perception rather than reality. I think there's a term for this. It's similar to a false memory, confirmation bias and hypochondria, though none of those terms is exactly suitable. Related. False memory, this URL. Confirmation bias, this URL. Hypochondria, this URL.
I'd like to suggest that you're attempting to delve too far into psychology for what you truly understand just from your own description. I can offer an alternative explanation for observing this behavior that contradicts any of the ones you deemed related. Users reported performance problems when told we were running on backups because performance was the only thing they weren't sure was working correctly. It was easier for users to report this issue than to test for it accurately. Rather than pass judgments about why they did this, consider a term and wording that sticks to what you know. Informing our users that we were temporarily running on disaster recovery servers biased them to report performance issues. This way you've only reported what you've observed. Bias by as BS. Noun: prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. There was evidence of bias against foreign applicants. Synonyms: prejudice, partiality, partisanship, favoritism, unfairness, one-sidedness, bigotry, intolerance, discrimination, leaning, tendency, inclination, predilection, casteism. He accused the media of bias in some sports, such as lawn bowling, the irregular shape given to a ball. Verb: cause to feel or show inclination or prejudice for or against someone or something. Readers said the paper was biased toward the conservatives. Synonyms: prejudice, influence, color, sway, weight, predispose, distort, skew, slant. This may have biased the result: prejudiced, partial, partisan, one-sided, blinkered, bigoted, intolerant, discriminatory, distorted, warped, twisted, skewed. A biased view of the situation. Give a bias to. Bias the ball. Google, bias.
Selective perception seemed the most appropriate, though the more general term cognitive bias would also be appropriate. Selective perception, the tendency for expectations to affect perception. Full list of cognitive biases can be found here, this URL.
It may be that your users believe in the domino theory. Domino the orin. A theory that a particular event will precipitate similar ones elsewhere. Also called domino effect, domino reaction. The Free Dictionary. Because one thing went wrong, they expect other things to go wrong. Traditionally, this term comes from the realm of politics rather than psychology.
While I agree that Jongelbevan's suggestion of selective perception is most fitting, there's also hyperawareness as a related concept. Schultz described it best.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.